Since 1893, Laos has been a French colony in Southeast Asia. The Franco-Lao Treaty of 1953, establishing Laos as an independent member of the French Union under the Geneva Conference following France's withdrawal from Laos after the First Indochina War. Laos was granted independence in 1954. The colonization is good for Laos due to these reasons. During the colonial period, politically, Laos was under the European rule, which had an impact on the government, and in effect, Laos became socialist nowadays, much as many European governments. Also, the legal system under French ruling has a long-term effect on the civil law system in Laos. The commercialization of land, which caused Laos to move from subsistence to commercial farming, or territorialization of laborers, which create a working class. Also, the French colonial government both improved the amount of cash crops and resources being harvested, and increased its exports and improved trade. In infrastructure part, the European countries needed a way to connect the colonies to their empires, so Laos got help to build railroads, telegraph wires, and pastoral systems. Then to improve transportation and communications. In social, the plantation system was introduced and worked similarly to the federal system that was used in Europe. The Communist organization in Laos can trace its role from the Viet Minh and Vietnamese People's Army in Vietnam, whose name as Laos when it was adopted by Lao forces under Prince Suphra born in 1951. The Lao and Vietnamese communists were fighting for the same goals, the establishment of socialism in their country, and they now know that they could not achieve by their own. The communist ideology thought the internationalism was duty of all communists. The Lao communists freely accept Vietnamese leadership as the quickest and indeed the only way to achieve their aims. Those members who returned from Vietnam continue to work for the complete Laos independence from France, but within the legal framework. Those who joined the Viet Minh did not in pursuit of an altogether different political goals, the suppression of France and formation of a Marxist regime. The movement became the Tet Laos after the title of Resist Government of Tet Laos set up in the main support in August 1950. In August 1950, the prince became the public face of the resist government and the president of the Free Laos formed. The successor to disband Laos Isera. Real power laid, however, with two other men, both of whom were members of the Indochina's Communist Party. They were fought the deciding battles of the First Indochina War. The isolated France garrison was surrounded by the Viet Minh forces with the support from the Communist China, which planned the bases with literally hidden in the hills, supplied only from air. The French held out for over 2 months before surrendered on 7 May. Laos in general is very welcome for the decolonization. The middle-class people traveled to different places in the world asking for nationalist support. They were very actively supporting the actions of the army economically, and particularly in more liberal atmosphere in Indochina.
Reports David Schomburn. I remember French tanks. We heard no more from Dien Bien Phu. It was the end of the garrison.
In 1955, the Laos guerrilla accomplished a vehement invasion of Laos from Vietnam and established a government in Siem Reap in northern Laos. That year, Laos attained full sovereignty. The admission into the United Nations came in 1955. I started by doing the researching of the colonial period of Laos. After I had a basic understanding of this topic, I chose internal courses and wrote a research question. Next, I finished writing the script after reading my sources. Then I made this video and finished the worksheet. For writing the script, I used information in few transcripts from the pieces and books like French Indochina, Asian Connections Inside French China during the interwar period. They're about the colonialization and imperialism of France. I chose them for the introduction and the background part so that I can more comprehensively talk about the background during the period in Laos under French ruling. For the communism in Laos or answering the research question, I chose a book called A Country Study Laos as my sources. To that part, due to its tests are very useful and brief, I don't have much time for doing this project, so I chose the fastest way to finish. The original of this source is from internet website and books. They are very reliable because the books I chose were written by the people who are in the Laos National Agency and American college professor, so the sources is valued. The purpose of these sources is to let people have more deeper knowledge about this country's Laos. Because of the origin, those sources don't have much limitations. I use these sources from infoplace.com, which is a site for tourists, to know more about the information of the countries you are going to travel. I use them as one of the sources of my internal courses because they are very useful and comprehensive.